Hello everyone. Let's begin with our next poem, that is 2.5, Father Returning Home. This is written by Dilip Chitre. Dilip Chitre was a noted and influential bilingual poet and translator who worked in Marathi and English. Bilingual means having or using two languages. He was also a critic, a painter, a translator, and a filmmaker. He received the prestigious Sahitya Academy Award both for poetry as well as for his well-known translation work Says Tuka. Exile, alienation, self-disintegration, and death are observed to be the major themes of his works. He was also the pillar of Little Magazine movement in Marathi. In this poem, the poet shows the loneliness and world weariness of an old man in the modern society. It is an account of any old man who works hard for his family but leads a monotonous life where no one is there to take care of him, to converse with him, or to understand his feelings. This poem is taken from Traveling in a Cage. It draws a portrait of a suburban commuter. A commuter is a person who travels regularly from one place to another, typically to work. This poem is all about estrangement, alienation, isolation, old age in modern society, and generation gap. This poem is written in a free verse. Free verse means the poetry that does not rhyme or have a regular rhythm. So let's begin with the poem. Father returning home. My father travels on the late evening train, standing among silent commuters in the yellow light. Suburbs slide past his unseeing eyes. His shirt and pants are soggy, and his black raincoat stained with mud and his bag stuffed with books is falling apart. His eyes, dimmed by age, fade homeward through the humid monsoon night. Now I can see him getting off the train like a word dropped from a long sentence. He hurries across the length of the grey platform, crosses the railway line, enters the lane. His chappals are sticky with mud, but he hurries onward. So, children, in this poem, the poet Dilip Chitre touchingly describes the evening routine of an ordinary old man who is a commuter on local trains. The poet describes the man coming home from a long day at work. The poet describes his silent and lonely journey home in the crowded Mumbai local train. Like thousands of other peoples, he commutes silently, worn and tired, standing through the trip. He even does not speak to his co-passengers, perhaps because of his sadness in his heart, which is preventing him from even the small talks. He is silent throughout the trip and even gets off without waving goodbye to any passenger. He returns home in the evening. He looks shabby in his wet clothes, mud-stained raincoat, and old bag bursting or loaded with books. He looks outside blankly, gets off, and hurries homeward. He makes his way in his muddy footwear. When the man gets off the train, the poet compares it to a word falling from a sentence because the passenger or the man is said to be one word and the long sentence is said to be a long train. And it is said so because the man is unnoticed or unimportant. So it is told that a word is dropped from a long sentence. The platform he crosses is said to be grey in color because of its gloominess or dirty surroundings. Now let's go ahead. Home again, I see him drinking weak tea, eating a stale chapati, reading a book. He goes into the toilet to contemplate man's estrangement from a man-made world. Coming out, he trembles at the sink, the cold water running over his brown hands. A few droplets cling to the graying hair on his wrists. His sullen children have often refused to share jokes and secrets with him. He will now go to sleep, listening to the static on the radio, dreaming of his ancestors and grandchildren, thinking of nomads entering a subcontinent through a narrow pass. Now, children, the poet tells us that when the man or the father returns home, he drinks weak tea and eats a stale chapati. He reads the book. He is not served with care nor surrounded by lovingly family which greets him. So, children, the stale cold food also indicates the coldness in relationships in the family. And also the weak tea is a metaphor given for the fragile family bond. There is no bonding in the family. Home is only a shelter for him, and he is only a provider for them. The father is lonely among his own family as well. He is unnoticed, uncared, unappreciated, almost like an outsider in his own home and family. Inside the washroom, he ponders over his life. He contemplates. Contemplates means to think carefully about something. He thinks how alone he is in this crowded world. The father thinks of the past alone. Future plans could be also discussed with family members, but it is not so. A lot of discussions could have happened about money, savings, career, a wedding, and so on. Advices, suggestions are given. Arguments and disagreements happen, and even anger sometimes. But the father has nothing like this happening in his presence. There is only a sullen silence. He remembers his past and thinks of possible grandchildren. No one shares his dreams. He spends his past, present, and future alone and in silence. He is old and his hands are shaking slightly, but his children are aloof and have no interaction with him. He will now go to sleep, thinking of the past, future, and listening to the harsh sounds on the radio. While sleeping, the man will dream about his ancestors, the grandchildren, and also thinking about the nomads who entered a subcontinent through a narrow pass. So, children, our parents love us from the moment we are born. They watch us grow up and give us everything they can. They try to fulfill our wishes to the maximum extent possible. They work so hard. The fathers work outside and mothers in the home. They spend their time, energy, and resources on the children. So, we must not take their sacrifices for granted. We can never repay them. We must at least try and give them comfort and joy. It is our first duty to obey and love our parents and look after them when they grow old. Now let's have a look on the appreciation of the poem and note it down in your book.